For coming to Necklaces and Net Zero. Thank you to Tise for the sponsorship and the free refreshments on hand now. The bar is open until 5, I think, so please help yourself. I am Amy Rush Imber. I am publisher and editor-in-chief of Floor Covering Weekly. I am also vice chair of Women in the Floor Covering Industry, also known as WIFI. It's a 501c3 nonprofit formed 3 years ago. Sorry. That slide too fast. It was all about engaging, empowering, educating women in the floor covering industry. Since then, we've accomplished quite a lot. We have a number of educational programs and networking opportunities. As a nonprofit, we are very thankful for our generosity of our donors, and we hope that you will consider contributing at some point. The opportunities that we have developed for women include monthly power hour sessions. They're 1-hour virtual education sessions that cover everything from rocking your social profile, to home-life balance, to financial health. Last year at Mohawk's booth on the services floor, we announced the first scholarships. To date, we have awarded more than $50,000 worth of scholarships for post-secondary education, certifications, and other further education to help develop careers in the floor covering business. And there is also a robust mentorship program that I also encourage you to participate in. I hope you will connect with Wi-Fi, get involved, and spread the word. Please feel free to reach out to me or my fellow board members here at TISE, and please join us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the Mohawk booth for Women Who Floor the World. On with our program. For Gen Z and millennials, sustainability has the power to drive purchasing decisions. These consumer cohorts prefer to buy things from companies that are eco-friendly, conduct fair trade, and are socially responsible. One area of sustainability is the goal of net zero. But what does that mean? Is it simply eliminating the impact on the environment, or is it more? Today we have a panel of experts in the field of sustainability that will reveal the truth about net zero, among other environmental commitments developed to create a more sustainable process, product, planet, and people. They're going to reveal myths and truths and what their companies are doing and focusing on and investing in on the path to a sustainable future. First, we have Daniel Cassidy, Vice President of Consumer Insights for Shaw. He is responsible for leading Shaw's consumer understanding using best practice research and data analytics approaches to support brand and product strategy. A veteran marketer, Daniel has built a consumer insight team for a multitude of home product categories. Noah Chitty, Vice President, Sustainability and Technical Services, AHF Products. Prior to the acquisition of Crossville by AHF, he was responsible for Crossville's sustainability and technical initiatives, including the most current carbon reduction initiatives. He serves as the current chairman of ISO tise 189, the international development body for responsible for overseeing global standards related to ceramic tile and affiliated materials. He is a voting member of the Tile Industry Committee's ANSI A108, TCNA Handbook, and the NTCA Technical Committee, and recently has joined several additional resilient committees and wood flooring groups. Next, we have Melissa Maynard. Melissa is Chief Sustainability Officer for Mohawk Industries. Melissa leads the company's sustainability strategy to enhance and strengthen Mohawk's overall performance. With 3 decades of experience in sustainability, her work focuses on driving product innovation and fostering positive environmental and societal changes in a Fortune 500 environment. Throughout her career, she has served in sustainability leadership roles for numerous national trade organizations and believes collaboration is vital to learn from others and improve sustainability positioning. Sinclair Myers, Myers Carpet General Manager in Dalton, a premier flooring retailer known for its high-end soft surfaces, custom rug fabrication, and partnerships with prestigious clients including U.S. embassies, worldwide and major Hollywood productions. As a third-generation leader in the family business, Sinclair has cultivated a deep understanding of the flooring industry, working across all aspects of the company since high school and continuing through post-graduation from the University of Georgia. His role encompasses overseeing daily operations, driving innovation, and ensuring the company's legacy of quality craftsmanship and exceptional service. And with a strong focus on sustainability, Sinclair has championed the integration of eco-friendly materials, including renewable wool and grass-based carpets, into Myers flooring options. Renee Anderson, Universal Fibers Global Sustainability Leader, is responsible for championing and directing all global initiatives supporting continuous improvement of the company's products, services, and manufacturing processes, while minimizing waste and the use of water and energy. With more than 20 years' experience in the manufacturing sector, Renee has held leadership positions in quality system improvement, quality concern resolution, product compliance, good manufacturing practices, process certification, and regulatory compliance. So, we're going to start with you, Dan. Sustainability has long been embraced by the commercial sector, yet commonly believed that homeowners and residential consumers don't care about sustainability. What's the truth?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I say the truth, rooted in research, is that the homeowner and the end consumer of residential flooring does care, but it's about meeting them where they are on their journey, understanding their perception, and then understanding kind of what values drive them in the hierarchy of making their decisions. There was a study done probably about a year ago by our friends at Nielsen IQ, and in that study it said that 70% of consumers said that sustainability is more important today than it was 2 years ago. Pretty bold statement, pretty big number, 70%, but I wouldn't focus on the actual number, I would focus on the trajectory. That's saying that it is more important than it was 2 years ago. But what we have to understand is, what does sustainability mean? Because it was just asked in a very generic term. Is sustainability important? Yes or no? So I think we need to look at ways that we can understand where people are on their journey of understanding what sustainability is for them, and then how that applies to our products, both in home overall and then specifically in flooring. We've done a couple of research projects at Shaw where we tried to uncover what that means. So we did one project probably about a year or so ago where we dove into sustainability specifically, and we asked people their attitudes and their purchase behaviors, what are they looking for or not, as it relates to sustainability. And then we followed that up with a project that just ended at the end of this past year, where we looked and talked to homeowners about, what do they want their home to stand for? What do they want to kind of express about themselves and what's important in their home? And then how does flooring relate to that in total? And what we've discovered is that sustainability means a lot of different things to pretty much everybody. And it's about understanding that end consumer, again, where they are in that journey, and then how you communicate those values to them so that they can really see that value. In our study, we found that there was a very passionate group that really did a lot of research, understood things like net zero, understood things like climate impact, and wanted to understand as much as they could about companies, how they manufacture, how they distribute, and what they stand for, and they will make their decisions based off that. We also found others that kind of labeled sustainability in other terms. They just talked about more general things like recyclability, or using less energy, or using less water, or making things more durable. And all of those things are connected to sustainability, and everybody's kind of going along, in terms of impacting what's important to them. So really, it's up to us as manufacturers, as brands, as we move them forward, to be able to speak to those consumers as they're ready to absorb that information. So for those individuals who are further along in their journey and are getting into the nitty-gritty of what kind of material, what kind of process goes into making flooring, we develop relationships with third-party certifications to make sure that there's this value inherently involved in those certifications, and that the individual consumers create a relationship with us where they trust us. That third-party verification says that there's a believability factor and it's important to them. We also have a philosophy of doing good for people and planet, and there's a lot of things that go into that. One, we do that because it's fundamentally the right thing to do. But if you believe that and you move that forward, it's meeting those individuals where they are. So those that are thinking about material as it relates to in-home air quality, or if they're thinking about the durability of a product, both of those are definitely sustainable attributes that we can have a conversation with those consumers about how durable our products are, and therefore there's less waste, and therefore it's a sustainability story without being overtly saying, is sustainability important to you? Because durability definitely is, and craft a whole story around that. So it's really, again, about meeting where people are on their journey, and we're dedicated to doing that at Shaw so that we can continue down our path of meeting our net zero goals.
Thank you, Daniel. I loved, as you spoke, everyone going, So Noah, we've all seen on things like airfares and offsetting your actions, footnote. Is this a hoax or is there a real action there? What's the truth?
I mean, I think there's a real action there. I mean, the reality is building product manufacturers. You know, I'll take tile for example. We don't have yet a way to make the product without the use of some of the natural resources, you know, that still contribute to carbon emissions. So in the interim, until we can create a product that has no carbon emissions, we have to do something if we're going to act on it before we can get to the point where we just hand you zero. So from a building product standpoint, I think we have to use carbon credits and carbon offsets in the interim to take those actions while we're trying to reduce our emissions. And then I think what people are seeing, you know, whether it's Amazon or Etsy, in your everyday life, we also don't have the ability yet to bring us our packages without, you know, transportation by truck and that kind of thing. So if we're going to take action before we can get to the end goal of net zero, either in our lives or in our manufacturing, we've got to do something now. And I do believe the carbon credits are the way that we can kind of take action now and do something. It's like anything else. I think there are people that have tried to, for various reasons, cast some doubt on carbon credits, and probably some for good reason, because, you know, there may be some things, but there's a huge market now trying to make sure there's voluntary transparency and things that are going on like that. So I do think, you know, taking the time and working with companies that have integrity, you can feel comfortable about using those kind of carbon offsets and carbon credits.
Thank you so much. Melissa, sometimes we think that if we can't go big with something, it isn't meaningful. Do small changes, especially in the realm of sustainability, matter in the big picture?
Well, I would say small changes absolutely matter, and I would want everybody to imagine this being January. I thought this might be a good example. Going into the gym thinking you're going to lose 20 pounds that day. And as much as we would love that to happen, it doesn't happen that way. We have to put in the work. We have to make small choices every day. And those choices collectively add up to longer term results. And I think that same analogy works with sustainability, such that it's really about the decisions that we make consistently over the course of time will drive greater change in the long term. So when I think about that relative to Mohawk, it's about making choices with intention. And it might be smaller choices. It might be looking at our manufacturing process and saying, here's a waste stream that used to go to landfill, and finding a use for it so that we're finding some kind of a beneficial purpose. Or it could be something that's a bigger choice with maybe saying, what about a new technology to eliminate water in a process that we have, or developing a new product that maybe incorporates recycled plastic content into it, or something like that. And so those are decisions that collectively are really going to drive systematic changes over the course of time. So we really have to think about it in that perspective. And I think from a consumer perspective, you know, does the choice that they make on flooring matter? And there might be this feeling that it's really, you kind of either get a product that performs or a product that's sustainable. And I think we have so many products now that demonstrate you can have it all. It meets all of the boxes. And so what we've tried to do at Mohawk is, I think in general, the consumer wants to make choices that are going to be beneficial for the future with that future generational perspective. And we have partnered with a number of organizations such as the Plastic Bank or One Tree Planted, and that's really to say, hey, your choices do matter, and what you decide can really contribute to broader good through doing that, and it's a way to be able to connect them to direct results. And so those are some examples that I would say we really try at Mohawk to say those choices do matter, and we really have to have that longer term vision of collectively how we get there together.
Awesome, thank you, Melissa. Sinclair, as a retailer, How do you position sustainability and not just promote it in the store, but debunk certain consumer myths when it comes to buying sustainable products?
Yeah, so my grandfather actually started the business, and we're a retailer in Dalton, Georgia, and we kind of fell into sustainability just by chance. Back probably in the 70s, 80s, 90s, if y'all remember Dalton, Georgia, there was just hundreds of retailers there. And what I was told for a long time, everyone was $3.99 square yard polyester. That was the thing that everyone was going for. So it's just a rat race to the bottom. And if y'all know my dad, y'all have all heard this story, but at a certain point we made a strategic decision to go towards the higher end carpets. And those were wools and grasses, and that's just stuff in Dalton, Georgia that people would never touch. That turns out to be extremely sustainable products, and it's just really worked really well for us over the years. And so, some of the myths that we've come across, I'd like to address that are sustainable products are more expensive, not worth the investment. And first off, wool products, if you can keep them in good shape and maintain them, those things are going to last forever. When I worked in Nashville, we'd go to all different types of customers' houses, and they'd have these wool carpets that just look spotless and just beautiful. They wore great. They'd had it for so long, great. I'm tired of this stuff. So, you got the higher upfront costs. I get it, but down the road, it's just going to last so well. Another question is, natural fibers are harder to clean and maintain. If you all know about wool carpets, inherently stain resistant. So you don't have to add the extra stain protection, and it cleans great. And then we talk about grass products. If you get a stain on a grass product, yeah, it's going to stain. I can't deny that. But the price to get these materials is fairly inexpensive, so the replacement cost is amazing, and they're biodegradable. So sustainability. And then the last one is sustainable carpets are not stylish or versatile. Designers come to us specifically. We're designer driven, and they come for these wool products, and they come for these grass products. I remember when I was selling grass products, the husband was always like, man, I don't like how scratchy this is on the feet. And I'd be like, listen, this is kind of like women's stilettos, They look pretty, they're not the most comfortable. Your wife wants it, so buy it. But anyhow, just sustainable products are great for us. It's always worked for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Sinclair. Renee, there's an assumption made that carpets are not environmentally friendly. What's that all about, and where does the truth lie?
That is an absolute myth. I think when it comes to carpet, that belief that carpet is not environmentally sustainable, I think a lot of that comes from the thinking, if this carpet is made of synthetic materials, probably is not recyclable, probably doesn't have recycled content, it's probably winding up in the landfill, and it's contributing to waste and polluting our environment. And that's actually just not the case. So I'm not going to tell my age, although I'm walking around with a necklace that says 1972 because I'm trying to embrace it. But I actually remember a time, because my background is in the paint industry, and I actually remember a time when it used to be all solvent-based paint. And it was a push to go to water-based. Nobody ever thought water-based would ever take off. And now if you go into a home improvement store, there is nothing but water-based paint. You really have to search and find solvent-based paint. When it comes to carpet and sustainability, I think someone else mentioned this earlier, if you ask 5 different people what does sustainability means to them, you'll get 5 different answers. Okay, so my company, Universal Fibers, we've been around since 1969, and we were using recycled content back in the late 70s, 80s, but we didn't talk about it because it just was the right thing to do. It was the manufacturing efficiency that all of us focus on in the manufacturing industry, and so we didn't talk about it. So now we're going out, and now you have the manufacturers who talk about the recycled content that they're using. It's nothing new. Recyclability, that's not really anything new. I mean, a lot of the carpet, these guys will tell you, they wind up in other end uses, whether it's in automotive, in your airbags, whether it's used in sounding boards, in transportation. It is recyclable. And kudos to the manufacturing industry because they have done a great job in communicating with each other, working with each other, and talking about how do we drive innovation, what do we need to do next to further push that industry when it comes to being sustainable. And I'm in meetings with these guys, and I'm talking to both my competitors and my customers about designing for sustainability and really pushing that envelope. That is a myth, okay? That's your takeaway when you leave here. The carpet is sustainable, and I'll end with this point. The most sustainable products are the products that last, that you don't have to constantly turn over and put down. More than likely, you tire of your carpet before it actually wears out. You're just tired of looking at it. You want to redo your room. So the longevity and the durability is there.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I want to thank tise again for putting on this great conference. And I wanted to point out any of the Wi-Fi board members or committee members that are in the room, if you can just quickly stand up so that if somebody here wants to connect with Wi-Fi, you might want to become a donor, you can see one of them. So, Reva, I see you over there. Thank you. We also want to thank AHF and Universal Fibers. They have a nice project that you can do over there to the left of the stage. Erin, wave your hand. She can help you out with how to do it. You can make necklaces, brooches, barrettes, keychains. You can bling your badge out if that's what you want to do. But grab your supplies, get creative, have a drink. Thank you all so much, and have a great show.
Thanks.